All right, we've pulled into a little cut here. We're out of the wind. We've got a lot of wood in here. And it's also fairly shallow in here, so there could be a lot of largemouth that moved up in here. I've switched to a jig. It's a 3/8 ounce jig, and it's tipped with a piece of plastic. And the reason I've done that is because out there in the wind, the fish may be more active. They seem to be biting the spinnerbait fairly well. But in here where it's calmer, spinnerbait really isn't the lure of choice. So I'm going to try flipping some of these trees with this little jig, and we'll see if we can come up with a few fish. It's really beautiful back here, and it's nice to get out of the wind and be calm and relax a little bit. You know, I really like fishing by myself, being out on the water alone. It gives you a lot of advantages over fishing with someone else. You can be more selfish this way. You don't have to worry about the guy in the back of the boat and whether he's catching fish. You can spend your time practicing new techniques, doing things you wouldn't normally do on the water to see if they work, and just generally doing what you want to do. There's also something really nice about the solitude of being outside all by yourself. It seems to me that the rest of the world just sort of melts away when you're out on the water by yourself. You don't have to think about anything but yourself and the water, and maybe catching a few fish. There's one. Didn't give him much of a chance, did I? Well, another nice little squirt bass. You know, when I'm fishing an area like this, I like to try and do it as efficiently as possible. So what I'll do is I'll park the boat in one spot, and I'll try and fish all the different elements of cover in the area. Then I'll move the boat a little further ahead and do the same thing. That way I can fish in a full circle, cover all the elements of cover here, move over there, cover a whole nother area, and continue doing that. I know there's going to be fish in this whole area. They're not going to be just up against the bank. So that works very well for me, and it's something you should consider when you're fishing. You know, I really like catching fish on a jig, but the important thing is that you catch fish on a jig. I must have fished that jig for another 45 minutes and never had another bite. But I'm no fool. I went right back to the spinnerbait. And you know what happened? Here's one. A little better fish. All right. Yeah, baby. Come here. Okay. There we go. That's nice. Thank you. You were a lot of fun to catch. See you later. Here's one. That's another little guy. They are fun, though. Well, they're up on the bank pretty good. Okay, little fella. Jesus and Moses, they're out fishing. They're working down a bank, and they're chucking spinnerbaits, just like we are. Jesus makes a bad cast, and the bait hangs up in a tree. Jesus goes, I'm hung up. He hops out of the boat, runs across the water, right on the top of the water, goes over the tree, unhooks the bait, runs back into the boat. They're fishing some more, and Jesus is going on and on about what a great fisherman he is. He catches all these great fish. You know, Jesus, the great fisherman. They're catching a fish here and there, but, you know, they're really not setting the world on fire. And Jesus is out fishing Moses. So they go a little bit further, and again, Jesus throws his spinnerbait up in a tree, hops out of the boat, runs across the water again, goes over to the tree, unhooks the bait, runs back to the boat. And he just keeps going on and on about what a great fisherman he is. Well, this happens again, and this time when Jesus runs across the water, there's a guy walking down the bank. He looks at him and says, "What do you think, you're Jesus Christ or something?" And Moses turns to the guy and says, "No, he doesn't think he's Jesus Christ. He thinks he's Roland Martin. Here's one." Here we go. Thank you very much for the pleasure. Another one of these little squirts. They're all over the place. But they're fun.